Hello and welcome back. My name is Ruby Burrito,
My name is Astrid.
and today we are going to talk about Halloween. So, Halloween starts at the time that we're recording this, it is Sunday, September 16th in the evening, and Halloween, the event, will start in 2 days on Tuesday, October 18th.
That's the exact same day that Disney Dreamlight is having their expansion.
Very nice. So, if you play Disney Dreamlight and you didn't know the expansion was coming out, now you did.
It's
Um,
just their character and their storyline, but that's
I'm glad you're excited.
what.
I just wanted to run through a couple of the items that are going to be in this release. This is one of the festivals that has been around since the game came out.
I think it's the most fun one, to be honest.
This is actually going to be the 11th Shadow of the Mad King release. Because we had one in 2012, and now we're having the number 11 in 2022, which is pretty crazy because I've been there for just about every single one of them, I think. So, I guess I'm going to start with the most important thing to know about the festivals. And this goes for every single one of them now, and that is going to be dailies. So, when you log in during a festival, you're going to have your daily achievements. If you go to the daily tab, you're going to have your regular daily achievements, but then there's going to be, I believe it's daily festival. Or maybe it's Halloween daily. So, there are a bunch of different achievements that can be the Halloween dailies, and it looks like the wiki actually has a rotation for how all of them are set up. So you can prepare ahead of time and be ready for each of them. The reason that the daily is helpful is one, the daily achievements give you trick or treat bags, which is the Halloween consumable item that it's a bag that gives you more items. And additionally, when you complete a certain number of dailies in a row, there is an achievement in a different category that will tick. And so every time you do all of the dailies, the haunted weapons are account bound. It's a unique skin that's only available during Halloween, and they've been expanding on a lot of these weapon skins, and that's probably between the weapon skins and maybe some armor skins and some other aesthetic items, minis, etc. That's probably the most important thing, or the most unique thing about Halloween. And then
I think the maze is the most unique thing.
the maze is pretty unique. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna have. Let me go back to where I was. You're gonna have a bunch of different activities, and so I'll come back to the maze in a second. The newer additions. So a bunch of the things that are here have been here since 2012, but the newest additions are races. So you have a mount race in the labyrinth that Astrid was talking about. You have a mount race in specifically the raceway, which is a roller beetle race. There is a second race, the time trial pumpkin paradise. Actually, there's three: time trial roll into madness, pumpkin paradise, and Lil Eddie's bunny bounce. So it looks like it's roller beetle, jackal, and springer. So those are all the new things. Going back to the labyrinth is really good for core Tyrian experience. Loot, yes, but part of the reason why it's so beneficial is spirit shards. When you level up, you get spirit shards, and you can use spirit shards to generate gold. In one of my previous videos, I talked about the fast farming website, they have a description on how you can make money with spirit shards if you are unfamiliar. But the Mad King's Labyrinth is the farming. Really, that's what it is farming. You go into the labyrinth. There are doors. Some of the doors spawn bosses. Some of the doors spawn a veteran or a couple of veterans. And then the third type of door is a mob door. And it just spawns a whole bunch of mobs. Everybody stands around and they kill those. Those are the most ideal doors. Give the most experience and loot.
And honestly, those you get stacks of those what are they, trick or treat bags?
Mm-hmm.
And they sell for pretty good gold too. So it's like really
Yep.
important to do the event like right when it comes, or not the event, but the festival right when it comes out, because then you're able to get a lot of gold out of it too. And then towards the end of the festival, you can like save them or just like open them, and you can still get what's inside. But
Yeah. The reason that you're totally right. The reason that you want to start selling them at the beginning is because if you look at a graph of the price of trick or treat bags, they start high at the beginning of the festival and then they drop as the amount of trick or treat bags in the market start rising as people are farming them. And then once it starts to drop, then you're making less money, et cetera, et cetera. So you can open them then, do whatever you want, or you can wait until next year if you get to the end of the festival, because once you get to that low, over the next 12, well, almost 12 months, probably 11 months, the price slowly creeps back up, and it hits its highest point right before the next festival. So Mad King's Labyrinth is a great way to do that. The Ascent to Madness is a mini dungeon. So there's some achievements tied to that. You can play it with one or two other people, but if you go to the LFG under the Friends tab, you should be able to find some people that are willing to join you. The clock tower is infuriating if you don't know how to do it.
it's infuriating.
I love doing the clock tower. It does get a little infuriating. I've completed it a couple dozen times, but it's not easy.
Watch somebody else do it before you do it, and then
Yes.
really decide, do I really want to put myself through this?
Watch somebody else do it. You don't have to make the jumps exactly like them, but I got to a point. There's a point where you have to drop down, and there's no indication that you have to drop down other than the fact that there's nowhere else to jump. And I didn't know that. So the first time I reached it, I died because there's stuff rising the entire time. So that one's fun. Mad King Says is Simon Says, where you do emotes, so it's the slash commands. It occurs every 2 hours. Lunatic Inquisition is PvP. It's a corruption style mechanic. So there's a bunch of rebels, I think they call them. They're like villagers that run around and can pick up items on the map, and then the courtiers' job is to catch them and convert them. So your job is to as a villager, your job is to stay away from the courtiers as best as possible. And then there is Reaper's Rumble. Reaper's Rumble I'm not that familiar with. I didn't actually play that very much, but it's a PvP MOBA style activity where each team must protect 3 mausoleums that spawn skeletons and destroy the opposing mausoleums. I'm actually going to try to play that a bunch this year. And then there's 4 different sets of achievements between the dailies, the Halloween rituals, the Shadow of the Mad King, and the Lunatic Wardrobe. And each one of them can give you a bunch of achievement points potentially, or different rewards here and there. And once we get into festival time, if this is your first festival, if you recently joined on Steam, or if you just picked up the game or you're coming back, for the most part, when festivals are happening, people are pretty much just doing the festivals. So right now you'll see a whole bunch of people in LFG doing a whole bunch of things. So keep that in mind too World v World, PvP, they're going to be a little bit less filled. Open world metas, a little bit less filled because so many people are going to be farming the metas. And that's, again, or farming the festival. And again, that's why we say once you get in, try to get a bunch of the achievements done. There are annual achievements. When you complete enough annual achievements, you get a unique skin, but they can give trick-or-treat bags. Getting those done and getting your trick-or-treat bags and selling your trick-or-treat bags right away is very helpful.
Shiny.
Anything else you'd like to add, Astrid?
No, I just if you don't like jumping puzzles, just stay away from the clock tower.
You
It's
can
just like-
finish your annual achievement without touching the clock tower, which is nice.
It's what I do every year. And then every time it gets to the high part, she like messes up and then she says the F word.
I have not seen that video.
It's really funny.
I mean,
She just
that's
goes, ah, and then she goes, fuck.
that is pretty much how jumping.
I don't know if
puzzles
I'm allowed
go.
to say that, but
It's 10 minutes in. I think you're allowed to.
it is actually very, very funny. But that's what I remind myself of because I literally am screaming. Because she's like, it's funny because she's like really, really bad, at singing, and then her voice cracks every time she goes to go high. She just goes,
Nice.
and then she screams, and then she does that little, you know, like when little kids get when they get upset, they're like, oh.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
That they get so like infuriated that they're like shaking themselves. That's what I sound like when I'm playing that game. When I'm playing Clock Tower.
Yeah, it's pretty infuriating if you can't get it. Same with the Winter's Day jumping puzzle.
Same with all jumping puzzles, honestly.
That's fair. Well, I think that will wrap it up. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.